Hi everybody, so by the title of this video you guys probably already know what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be explaining the things that I had to submit for the I-130 application and the I-130A. I'm going to be doing a little rundown so you guys can kind of get an idea of how our case has been going so far and our background, just so you can kind of see, okay, like maybe we have some things in common and maybe your guys' case is going to be a little similar. I also want to say, just kind of get this out of the way. I know everybody kind of says this in every video. We are not professionals. This is kind of just my situation, what I have been learning so far. And I know that not everybody is going to be, I know every case is totally different, so just kind of take this with a grain of salt. This is my experience, what I've been going through. A lot of I've been learning along the way with the help of my sisters and my sister-in-law. I consider her my sister, my sister-in-law as well. They have all really helped me, and just having the support of your family is a lot when this is happening, because as you can kind of get a little glimpse of this, it's not easy. It's like it's really hard, and just having the support of my family is awesome that I have that, but I know a lot of people don't, so this is why I'm making this video, because this could help somebody. Even if it just helps just a little bit, I'm totally happy about it. Alright, so I have a few folders where I have just kind of been collecting my things. This folder I had since I submitted my first paperwork, the form I-130 and the I-130A, and the supportive documents. And then these two black folders I just kind of had along the way to for copies. These say National Visa Center. This is for like the next step. This is a step that we're actually at right now. But in here, I have a lot of things, and a lot of these are just copies. I seriously spent about 3 months just reading over the I-130 and the I-130A and being like, oh my gosh, like I had to remake about 4 copies because I honestly felt like I was doing something wrong with it. But my best advice I can give you is just get it done and have somebody help you go over it if you're not going through a lawyer, because we did not go through a lawyer. And just honestly send it in. Just by you sending it in, that's a start, it's gonna be the start of the process. And that was just, I don't know if it was I was kind of scared. I was like, I don't want to do anything wrong. But you can't do anything wrong, because even if you submit something, they're gonna let you know. Yeah, it's gonna bring your case back a little bit, but just if you know that you have everything that you need, just go ahead and start, because you're just sitting there and it's not going anywhere. Okay, so a little background. My husband and I, we got married last year, February of 2017, and so I was in Mexico last year in December 2016, and I stayed there through January 2017. I came back for about a week and a half, and then I went back late January, and then we got married in February. And I stayed over there till about April, I want to say. I got back, I think, mid-April. And then that's when I started to just look up on the website. The website is uscis.com, and they have everything. Like seriously, USCIS and the NVC is gonna be your best friend for the whole period of this. I kind of just browsed on there, and I was talking to my sisters, and my sister-in-law was like, okay, so I think I'm ready to start this process. The sooner that you start it, the better. And they were like, yeah, let's just go ahead, and they helped me look over the application. I took it home, and I just started filling it out. I made 3 different copies just to have them, and I was like, I have to make sure every little thing is perfect. I ended up filling it out, the last draft, online with my sister-in-law, and we did everything online, and we printed that out, so I didn't really have to worry about my writing at the end. It wasn't until the last week of July that I actually had all my paperwork together, and I sent everything in the last week of July. I got a letter back from them literally the week after. My priority date is August 4th. Your priority date is really important, so make sure when you're obviously going to keep all of these things in a safe spot. You don't want to lose any of these, because come the interview, they're going to ask you for certain paperwork that you need to have with you. So make sure you're putting these all in a nice little organized folder, or just anything, a binder for now, so you can go ahead and start recording everything in order that you receive and that you send out information. So my priority date became August 4th, and 2017, and that is when, you know, just the waiting period started. They just let me know, welcome, this is not, you know, does not grant a visa, because a lot of people think that just by sending the information in, you can get a visa like ASAP, like the next day or something, but since it's an immigrant visa, that's not how it works. They have millions of different types of visas that you can apply for. My husband and I, we were indecisive whether we should do the fiance visa or that's the I-129F, I believe, or if we should do the I-30. So we kind of had either way to go, and we were just kind of like, you know what, we're gonna do it this way, and you know, we're gonna put our heart in it, and we're both gonna, you know, just either way. We knew we were gonna get married, we were gonna live together. He was planning on coming here, so we were like, we have our choices, this is what we have, and we just decided to go this route. We got married and then send in our paperwork. The fiance visa, I believe, works that you don't get married before, you know, like through the civil court. You send in the application, and I guess that one is from 6 to 8 months. He gets through the interview and everything, same process, and then he's able to come here, and you guys can apply for his immigrant visa. And the only difference is that he's here, or he or she are here for that part. So that just kind of grants them just a temporary visa while you guys get everything together to start the next process, which we could have done, but we were like, you know what, let's just do it this way. We are going to be, I think we do end up saving about $500 doing it this way, because we don't have to pay for the extra fiance visa. But you know, regardless, if you're gonna do it one way or the other, if these are your options, just go ahead and talk to your partner and see what route you guys want to do it. And especially, like I said, if you guys are not gonna have a lawyer, it's really important to really inform yourself, both of you guys, and if you have anybody else helping you, to really get informed before, you know, you guys start any of it. Okay, so like I was saying, my priority date became August 4th, and we were just waiting and waiting and waiting, and as we're waiting, you know, we're like, I wonder how much it's gonna take, like when are they gonna start reviewing our paperwork, and just, you know, you start thinking all these things. It took us 6 months. We heard back from them in February. Notice letter, we received it on February 19th, and it just states that the petition had been approved, so now it was going to be sent to the National Visa Center. Now, at this point, you know, you still don't have a visa in your hand. This just means they don't need any more paperwork from you, unless they had gotten everything they needed. So now it was just another waiting process. What I had sent along with the I-130 application, because you do have to submit supporting documents, we sent over two affidavit letters where it kind of stated two people that we knew and that they knew of us in our relationship, and just kind of stating that, yeah, our relationship is real, you know, we're not getting married for legal status or anything like that, you know, like we really like each other, like we want to be together. And we got two letters. We also had to get birth certificates, marriage certificate, all copies. You know, you don't want to be sending in originals unless they ask for them. And these did have to be translated, so just make sure you go to a credible translator, because that could also cause a little bit of conflict if the person that is translating the documents is not credible. You know, you can't just sit here and translate them yourself unless you are a actual credible translator. Then you can go ahead and do that. But if you're not, I suggest, you know, looking in first to find somebody that can do that for you. Also, I had to send in proof of status, so my citizenship little certificate, I had to make copies of that, send that in. Also send in filing fees along with this application for this application only. So I paid $535 for the application, the I-130, I-130A, kind of whole packet together. It's for, you know, tax, for just actual fees and the cost of the actual application, and for them to process everything. That's the first payment we kind of made for this whole process. and we all sent that along with just in a packet down to the USCIS office. Depending where you are living in the United States or anywhere else around the world is going to be where you send off your paperwork. You can find all that information on the USCIS office, and it'll just let you know which direction you have to send these to. Now in our case, we do not have any kids. I don't have any kids myself. He doesn't either. We don't have any together, so we didn't have to send anything about kids or anything like that, because I know that's a whole other section. You know, you have to send in their birth certificates and I don't know what else, because we didn't have to do that. Also, if either of you have been in the military or in the service, you also have to send in proof of all of that. Either of you have been married previously, you know, we have to have proof of that. And also divorce papers, proof of divorce. If you guys have lived together previously, if you guys have any joint finances or anything like that, you guys have to send in proof of those things as well. I also send in a few pictures of us together. I was talking to my sister-in-law, and she said that it would also be helpful if you send in pictures where you and your partner are together, but there are also other people in the picture. That way it's kind of like, yeah, this is like an ongoing relationship. They're going out, and you know, it's not just them two in a picture, they're in a group of people, so people know about their relationship. I guess that's like really good point. So we didn't really have a lot of those because, well, I wasn't aware of that. I just thought like you could send pictures of your couple, you know, just you and your partner together. But she said send a few of you guys together and a few of you guys with other people, and just kind of send those together. So like I said, make sure you check out the USCIS office to see if there is anything else on this application. You can look on the instructions. The instructions are 12 pages long. I have them right here in my hand. You can just print this out, and then that way you can be 100% sure that you're sending in every document and copies and everything that you need before you sending off the official packet. Alright, so the actual form I-130 just kind of includes information about yourself and your partner. It has, you know, like physical addresses. Where do you guys plan to live? When all of this is said and done, are you guys going to be living together? It also asks for your parents' names and where they live right now, and your partner's parents' names and where they live at right now. So that's something to think of. Make sure you get that information before you start any of this, because I didn't know of that, and we had to look for that since, you know, our situations, both of our fathers are deceased. So it also asks for date of birth, and that was something that we had to figure out. Just make sure you're aware of that so it doesn't hit you by surprise, especially if you are going to make a trip to get a lot of these documents, because I know a lot of people do that. They make a trip, like say me, I would go to Mexico and I would get all these papers collected and then come back, so you wouldn't have to go through the postal. So just make sure you look over the website. Again, I'm always going to be referring back to the website because that's where everything is going to be listed, and that way you don't have to be making double trips or, you know, just double the effort. Alright, the form I-130A, this is about you. I know in the I-130 it has things about yourself too, but this is just kind of additional information. So after we got our notice of letter action that we had received February 19th, our paperwork was sent over to the National Visa Center. We received our NVC welcome letter on April 6, 2018, so it took about 3.5 weeks for us to kind of get a response from that, so that was fairly quick. In our welcome letter, I have it right here. It gave you an NVC case number and an invoice ID number. This is going to be the information where you can access the site if you are eligible to begin the process online. If not, you're going to have to do paper pencil again and send everything into the office. You can sign up with your email address. I don't know if that kind of gives you the access later on to receive everything online, but I suggest you do it. I hear it's the fastest way, and I can tell you, just my experience, it has been pretty fast, just on how we were waiting for the first initial process for 6 months, and now it's at the National Visa Center, and it's been going like every month or so. So I would highly suggest you go ahead and really look into connecting your email address to this. That way you'll get this access to fill everything up online. So the first step is going to be choosing an agent. You can be the agent. If you have a lawyer, this is where they would dock themselves down as the agent. The first step, it says to allow about 3 weeks so they can process whoever you choose to be an agent. It took about 2.5 weeks for us, and then they sent us another email that we were ready for the second step. The second step is going to be paying the fees, and I can tell you what we paid. Alright, so we paid $120 for the fee, just kind of you know, like a processing fee, and we paid $325 for the actual application and the actual visa come then. So these payments had to be separate. We had to, you know, we had to do one payment of $120 and then the other one of $325. You don't want to send these together. There actually isn't a way to kind of pay for these together, so you don't want to be sending extra money. So we, a week went by and they let us know that our fees were accepted. That's what it says here, that you should wait about a week for them to process the fees, and then they'll let you know you can go on to the next step. So the third step is submitting the actual visa application. That is the DS-260, I believe. Let me look. Step 4 is submitting the financial documentation. 5 is collecting supporting documents. So step 5 and 6 is kind of submitting all your financial and supportive documentation in one packet to the NBC. You can do this online. You can upload all of this and you can send it in. I just got all the information together, made copies of it, and sent it off in a packet because that worked easier for me, just because my printer, I have to keep taking off every single page to kind of copy it up and then upload it onto the actual website. So I just found it easier to have copies, print them out, and just send off the packet. The DS-260 application is really mainly everything about the person you are applying for this visa. So it has just all of their information, really, where they've been living, past residencies, just really everything about them. If your partner is out of overseas, and again, if you guys aren't doing this through a lawyer, you guys can sit down, do a little FaceTime and do this application together and really take your time doing it. You can save each page as you go, so if there's something that you guys need to get later on, you can just save your application where you at and come back. It also asks for I think if the person is still in school. My husband, he's still in university, so we had to put in his schools, you know, since I think it goes back a few years. So make sure if your partner is still in school or recently graduated, you have all that stuff on record, so you can just go ahead. I'd ask for, I think, like the address and what years they've attended, or you know, like what just period of time they were there. It also asks for their occupation, so say this person is not in school, and you can just kind of put like his or her occupation. And since my husband, he works I want to say part-time, but it's really more like full-time, you know how that goes. So he's a full-time student, and he works full-time as well, so we had to put all that stuff in there, and any past employment that they've had, also put that down. Also, if you have, like I said in the beginning, any joint finances, this is where you would apply all of this in the supporting and financial documentation part of the process. In this application, it also asks what your partner is going to be working in, like what field or what they're going to be doing after they come here. And I know that's kind of like a little tricky, because you're like, well, we kind of gotta be here first, because you know a lot of people don't have a university degree that is acceptable everywhere. And but you can kind of just put on there, you know, talk to your partner and you guys can decide what you guys are going to put down. You can also always just put like kind of just labor, or they have a long list of different fields where you can work. All right, I hope I explained that well. It's just kind of a lot of things about on there have things about their life, so just make sure, like I said, just sit down and talk to your partner about that. The next application that you are going to submit along with the DS-260 is form I-864. So in my case, I was able to submit, I'm going to show you the I-864EZ. So this one is kind of, there's going to be on the NBC website in your profile where you select step 5. Where you're going to be collecting your supportive documentation. There's going to be a list of things where you qualify, and you're going to go through the checklist and you're going to see which application you qualify for. So the original application is the I-864, but depending on where you fall in these categories is the application that you're going to submit. So I submitted that I-864EZ just because that's what I was under. I think what is on their website, to be able to sponsor the person on your own, you have to be at least 120% above the poverty line. This is what I recently looked up, and this is what I had submitted, and I qualified for that. So I didn't have to have anybody sponsor or help me sponsor my husband. So I was able to have my application get shortened in half because I didn't have to add any other people onto this application. But in case you do, or for sure you're going to have a sponsor, just depending on your situation, you are going to be submitting the other application, or wherever you fall in that category, and submitting their information too. So that's more additional information that you're gonna have to submit. But in our case, I didn't have to submit any of that. So I just kind of submitted W-2 forms, tax return forms of just last year, because it said if you qualified for the most recent year that you didn't have to include all the other ones. You just have to include in the application 3 years back what your tax returns kind of look like. I started off choosing the agent, which was myself. We don't have a lawyer or anything else, so I just put myself down as the agent, and that went by, submitted that stuff. We submitted the actual money for them to start processing and looking at our stuff and the actual application, and that did take about a month for them to kind of... Wait, what the fuck are you saying? We did have to wait about a month and a half because my husband's passport was about, well, his passport expires in November of this year, but we didn't want to just submit that that passport, because then if it ended up expiring and our case wasn't done with yet, we would have to resubmit that application, and it would set us back a little bit. So he made an appointment to get a passport renewal, and then that took about a month and a half for him to get his appointment in. And then after that month and a half, we finally submitted, that's when we actually submitted the DS-260 and the 864 EZ, and all the whole thing, whole packet, financial, everything included in there. And about a month and a half later, so we submitted that at the end of May. I want to say the literal last week of May, and June 19th, June 15th is when we got another email back from them, and they said, all right, we have everything we need from you guys. Your guys are in queue now for an interview at your embassy. So our embassy obviously is Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, because that's where my husband is at, in Mexico. And that's kind of where we are right now. That's all the updates that I have. So roughly it has been, since we got that last kind of update in June, it has been 2 months. And we are now just waiting for an actual interview to get set up so he can go and do the next stuff at Ciudad Juarez. So hopefully we get to hear something back from them soon. I know every case is really different, and it obviously just varies. So just do your research. Like I said, USCIS, NVC pages are going to be your best friend. I found this page called Visa Journey. I just looked it up on the internet. I was trying to see like if I could find anybody that was kind of in my time zone, my same process and same applications and everything that they were going through, the same process, just to kind of guide myself, like, okay, like there's more people that, because I know there are so many other people that are doing the same process. They're far away from the person they chose to get married with. It's not our fault that they live in another country, but it's just the things that we have to go through, in order to be together. And it's hard, but at the end of the day, it's worth it. I know that once everything is done, it's gonna be so worth it, and I just hope that it's soon, because it can get hard. I haven't talked about the visa journey thing anymore. Wow. So I found this website where there are other people that you can look up, just kind of like your priority date or the application. In my case, it was the I-130 that I looked up, and you can have your own little timeline. It doesn't ask you things like what's your social security or anything like that. And I actually found this page off of the USCIS office, kind of like branched off on the internet. and a lot of people use it, and it's really cool because you know, you see that you're not alone. And like I said, like everybody, I know a lot of people that are going through the same situation, but being on that website really helped me a lot because you literally see it in front of your eyes. You see their timelines, like took them this long, and it gives you something to look forward to, like, wow, like we've been our petition has been approved, you know, that took 6 months, and then it got sent over to the visa center. Like you can literally see everybody's timeline on there. So if you ever even just want to look on that website, I recommend it. Then that way that'll kind of help you ease your nerves just a little bit, if that's even possible. But yeah, I think I covered everything. If there's anything, if you guys ever have any questions, please let me know. If there is something that I do not know, I will ask around. I don't even care. I want to help other people that are in the same situation. And you know, if you have any other questions, you can just go ahead and message me. If I could give you any advice, if you're thinking about doing this but you're just like afraid of you're gonna have to wait or anything, just do it. It's gonna be worth it on the end. It's gonna be something that because I've talked to other people that have gone through the same thing, and you know, their case is done, complete, it's been complete, and they're so happy. And I just look at that and I'm like, I can't wait to be like that. So just remember, keep your sanity. I do a lot of yoga, so I think I'm gonna just go ahead and end the video right here. I kind of gave you guys every update that I've had so far. We've been in this for a year and a month and a half now, so it's been a long time coming, and we're still going, but I know that we're going to get through this, and it's just gonna be awesome to see the end of this. So if any of you guys are going through the same thing, message me please, because I love talking about this. I love it. And if there's something that I did not mention in here, let me know. And if there's anything that I mentioned and is wrong, let me know, because that's not cool for me to give out information when it's not correct, because I wouldn't like that. But just know I did this to the best of my ability, to the best of my knowledge. And sorry if I'm all over the place when I am doing this. I was kind of really excited, and I started talking about something and then went off into something else, and then came back and then went off again. So please try your best to follow along. If not, you could just go ahead and message me and I can clarify anything. That's it. I hope this helps somebody out there. I see you. Hope it helped. But just gonna go ahead and end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If I hear anything else, I'm gonna do an update, because I want to keep posting about it, because I'm excited. We're halfway there. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.